Hello and welcome back to the Football Terrace. Thank you very much, as ever, for tuning in this afternoon. Hit that like button right about now on Facebook, on YouTube. It's the like. Twitter, it's the like button. YouTube, it's the like button as well. Retweet if you're on watching on Twitter as well. Big shout out to our title sponsors, Manscaped. You can get 20% discount off of all their products right now online using our promo code TFT. Get that done. We're here for the next hour or so. We're going to open up the StreamYard line soon for you to come in and have your say. Interesting conversation happening in the last 24 hours in relation to Jadon Sancho to Manchester United. Maybe, just maybe, this appeases some Man United fans in terms of the lack of transfer activity moving forward. A few people here saying there's an echo. Is that really true? Is there an echo? I can't hear anything. Maybe it's just somebody playing. Maybe you've got two things open. Sound coming through okay, people? No one else is saying, just one person, so it should be fine. So I want to talk about this today. Hitting like and share buttons important. StreamYard lines we're going to share with you very, very soon so you guys know what's going on. You guys have confirmed there is no echo, which is all good. I want to go through some comments here from Ralph Hoggenstein, who is a leading journalist for The Athletic. He spoke about Jadon Sancho to Manchester United. And I think what's really interesting here is two things. One, Sancho's form has turned around massively in recent weeks. I know there was a lot of people saying, maybe Man United avoided a bad deal here. He hasn't been as great this season. His goal return isn't an assist, sort of goal creations and assists, and his goal scoring hasn't been up to par. Listen, Jadon Sancho is still one of the leading lights in European football. He's going to be a superstar for the next 10 years in the same way that the Haalands, the Mbappes, the Rashfords, the Raheem Sterlings, the Phil Fodens, the Sakas, these young players are going to storm and just be this generation's sort of, I'm not going to pass greats from before because everybody gets the knickers in a twist, but they're going to be this generation's greats. But interesting what he said about a prospective move away. It says Manchester United target Jadon Sancho is back on form, but negotiations around any potential transfer involving Dortmund, the Dortmund star, are unlikely to be concluded in the January transfer window. But a summer move concluded in January is likely. It says here, this is what the words from Raphael were. He said he's beginning to click again. That was what he first said. He goes, by all accounts, he had a really good small winter break, a few days off, and he came back full of energy, and you can see it on the pitch. He goes, and I think the debates or the names being mentioned will increase again because his form is picking up. And that was always going to be the case. And I think one of the elements here of Jadon Sancho's form that were really being ripped into and overtly criticized. Oh, he isn't scoring as much. He's gone backwards, flash in the pan, all this kind of nonsense. And for me, it was always just, I call it wishful thinking from people. There's a lot of disrespect and hatred in the world of football at the moment for English players. It always happens. They're all overhyped. They're all overrated, and there is this general consensus to want them to fail and not to be as good as they really are. But Jadon's a real deal. He went for a bad period at the start of the season, but was still producing okay numbers for a player going for a bad period, and he's back on track now. It says, but everybody in Dortmund knows nothing will happen permanently in January. The player is not pushing for a move away. There is a very clear agreement that the transfer of that magnitude at Dortmund will only be completed in the summer. He goes, there was a big transfer announced in January a couple of years ago, though. That was Christian Pulisic to Chelsea, but remember, even his deal wasn't until the summer. So no one is, this is interesting that he threw this in there. No one is stopping Manchester United if they went out and felt really confident to say, let's do the deal now. Let's make sure we get it done now and maybe then announce it at the end of January. That's inherently possible. And that's really strong words. You often don't hear journalists go in that deep and say it inherently possible that Manchester United may go in for Jadon Sancho in January, broker a deal for the summer, but then get permission from Dortmund and the player to announce it so the world knows it's happening. Now, for me, as a Man United fan, I always take that this is a journalist's opinion based on what he's hearing. My opinion is Jadon Sancho to Man United is still a conceivable and possible deal. Does that mean it will happen? No, nobody knows this, but I think it's conceivable. What I would love to see Manchester United do is conduct business in that way. What I would love to see from my club, Manchester United, is to go out there and say, we want player X. There's the money. This is the offer for the player. Let's get this negotiated and done. And then come the 1st of July or whatever date it is that the teams return to preseason training, this new starlet is in the Manchester United squad, there for the preseason tour, there to be integrated with their squad. That, for me, would represent absolutely impeccable business from Manchester United. So I hope that there is a quantum of truth to this. I hope that this is based upon real information coming out of Germany. I hope that the Athletic, we know, are primed for not being a kind of Metro Sun Mirror style newspaper, like a tabloid that will just print whatever it needs to for people to turn up. But it's really, for me, it's a really big statement to say that it's inherently possible that Man United could go out, no one stopping them, and getting this deal concluded throughout January, announcing it at the beginning of February to be concluded in the summer. What do you all think about that? Now, I know rivals are going to say, not happening, not going to happen, never happening. Man United won't do it. If you think that, I want you to phone the show and tell me why this won't happen. I want you to tell me why. Not no. I don't want to hear no or yes even. I want to hear why do you think what you feel. I want to hear some brains working. I want to hear the clicking together of brain cells. I want to hear ideas. I want to understand your rationale. I want to get into your inner psyche here and understand what's going on. If this was to happen, how much money? How much money do you think it would cost Man United to get it done? And there we go. YouTube user, no, it isn't. Moo T2, sorry, 2D says no chance. Listen, bruv, that means nothing. Explain why. I would love to hear it. Indulge me. Indulge me, please. Sancho not coming. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Remember last year, the player wanted to cut. Do you know what I always find interesting last year? This time last year, it was Sancho would never want to play for your club. Now it's not going to happen. What? Why though? Come on. Why is he not coming? I don't care about your rationale as much as as much as I do your answer from a triggered point of view. Your rationale is your rationale. I'll accept it. Your statement of not coming, it's painful to read because it insults the intelligence of 95% of the viewers, my bro. You know, it's a madness. It's an absolute madness. Comment here says, save 89 million and get Damari Gray. Bruv. Damari, does he still play football? Wait one second. I'll turn the radiator off in here. It's getting very warm in the studio here, and I'm sitting and thinking, geez, I can't breathe. Does Damari Gray still play football? I didn't even know he was still playing football. Terry, don't play with my feelings. Please let this happen. Bro, I didn't make this statement. This is a journalist, a professional journalist that has come out and said this. I'm reiterating what he said. You then can draw your own conclusions from it. And like I say, if you say, it's not happening, that annoys me. Not because you said it's not happening, but it doesn't mean anything. Give us your rationale. And I know why most of you won't ever phone the show and why most of you won't give rationale. Because you don't have any. You're just saying what you're saying out of a place of spitefulness. And I know that. And I'd like to call you out so you don't phone up, so I'm proven right. You guys, it's so easy. It's unbelievable. Man like Neeks here saying, here we go again. Listen, the Sancho deal isn't going to go away. It's going to continue to prop its head up. Man United are still looking at the player. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I suppose the only caveat to doing that deal early flies in the face of what I said yesterday, that if Diallo looks good for the remainder of this season, and this is another question for you all today, if Diallo looks good for the remainder of this campaign, do you actually want Sancho at Manchester United? That's the questions we're going to pose to you. We're going to open up the lines now for you to call in and have your say. We are going to post the link on our Discord server in the general chat. I need to find the Discord server here. It's going to be in the general chat. So if you're not on our Discord server, the link for that is outside our description below. So make sure you go and get that done. I'm going to post the link right now. So you have to go in there and find it yourselves. I want you guys to phone the show, have your say. Come on. If you think he's come in, tell me why. If you don't think he's come in, phone in and tell me why. If you don't want him, phone in and tell us why. We're literally one of the only YouTube platforms on the planet that gives you the opportunity to come on and actually have your say. You can watch everybody else. How often do you get to go on there? I want some of you trolls to come on as well. Terry's Sancho saga starts again, people. Get ready for the daily videos from Terry updating us with Sancho's every action. But that didn't happen. If you actually go back to last year, I did a video in the March and I gave you an update from Fabrizio. And I said, the only time I'm going to come on and talk is when lies are spread. And between March and June, every video I did was saying, stop ignoring it. Nothing's changed. So I will do it, but it's more to try and steer people in the right direction. You know, we tend to only really give updates on this channel from credible transfer experts, the Fabrizios, the Damazios, Onsteins, these types of people. We will also do videos when things are written by the Sun, just to steer you all back in the right direction. That tends to be what we do. We're going to go to your calls here, though. Make sure you're checking out the Manscaped website as well. I've got a comment here from one of our members, Josh, who says, how good would Diallo have been? Sorry, how good would Diallo have to be to forget Sancho? Our squad needs depth in quality. If everything he takes the place of Dan James and Daniel could be sold to Newcastle or Leicester. Yeah, look, I mean, that's very, very true. I think the depth depends upon the qualities of Pellistri. Listen, in an ideal world, I'd love to have a Diallo that's amazing, firing, killing it, brilliant. And also have in the squad Sancho. Why not? You can never have too many riches, in my opinion. And it could mean that Martial loses his place. It could mean that Rashford loses his place. So what? As long as Man United are moving forward, I am a happy, happy man. Roy Keane here says, extremely average player. You think Jadon Sancho is an extremely average player? Please phone up and tell us why you think that. I am so intrigued to understand why. Man like Shane here says, Terry, that's why Traore is in the squad at the moment, to see if he's good enough before we make a decision on Sancho. That could be true. I think, look, over the course of January, we're going to get an idea of the qualities of Diallo. And he's going to have to play a few games, though. Training isn't enough. You really, really need more than just ability to be able to cut it in the Premier League. Mentality. Terry, are you going to twerk again? I don't know. Maybe. Depends. Really does depend. Yeah, maybe one day. Depends who for. Oh, Jesus Christ. One of your usernames. Terry, can you make me a mod, please? Potentially. All right, we're going to get some of the callers on now having their say. We had another super chat, actually, that I need to go back to from Simon, who says, Terry, if we get Sancho this month, that would steal the title 21 and our 14th Premier League title. Yeah, listen, I think it would, but I very much doubt Dortmund would do the business in January. Having said that, they're not in a title race themselves. I suppose there is the Champions League for them, though, to focus on. First caller on the show, we're going to get Red Devil TV on. Red Devil TV, what do you want to say?
We need Jadon Sancho.
Sorry?
We need Jadon Sancho. It's obvious. We need Jadon Sancho. 100%.
Yeah. Bro, you need to be over 16. Thank you very much for calling the show, my friend. RZ1020 on the show next. What you saying? Nothing. Next up, we're gonna have Hakeem. Hakeem, welcome back, buddy. Different every show, different hat. I'm loving it, brother. What do you make of this recent news about Jadon Sancho and Man United? They're saying it's inherently possible that we could get a deal done throughout January and announce it sort of in February ahead of the summer. Would that represent good business for you?
It would. You hear me?
Yeah.
It would, but it's kind of like we, as fans, we look back and be like, it kind of be like the Bruno thing where we signed him 6 months after originally wanting to sign him. But if we're going to sign him for 80 mil, 90 mil, possibly, I guess you'd say saving 30 mil, then it may look like good business. What I like, though, and I'll credit the club in this aspect for some of the things they've done well, is now we have potentially three players on the right in Palestri, Diallo, and Jadon Sancho. Obviously, Sancho can play across, but now it's going to put Martial, my favorite player, but it's going to put him in a position where Jadon Sancho's coming in. That means no more Rashford on the right. Rashford's going to be on the left. There's not going to be any more accommodation for you if you don't start playing well. Sancho can come in. He can play on the left. He can play on the right. Diallo, I've seen him play on the left, on the right as well. So it's more competition. Answering the question about, saying why would we then bring in Diallo than just to go and sign Sancho? As you said, the more quality we have, the better, because let's be honest about it, Diallo's still 19. And even though Jadon Sancho's 20 or 21, he's played a lot more games, a lot more experience. And quite frankly, he's talked about as a higher ceiling. So I think it's all good for us. So we go from having no one on the right to potentially having three players in the next
and you know what? And we've kind of done that work in recent times. Suddenly, you had Cavani, you had Bruno, you had Van der Beek, and suddenly the attacking options centrally and out to the left, because you're able to have cover up front. You can move Martial to the left. Suddenly we look a lot stronger. You sign those two players and they do well. Suddenly it's the best attacking group in the Premier League. It's just bringing them together. I saw a statistic last night on Monday Night Football that in the last 18 months in the Premier League, we've scored 22 goals via our strikers centrally, 22 goals from the player starting on the left. Bruno Fernandes has scored 19 goals. He's only been there for 12 months of that 18 months. And the player starting on the right, whoever it may be, is collectively they've scored 10 goals. The imbalance there. And I think if you make that right-hand side strong, if you did it in this, if we had that balance fixed now at this point in time, we'd go on to win this Premier League title. There's no doubt in my mind. Bro, listen, go on, mate. Go on, make a final point.
Before I go, I forgot about Mason Greenwood, and because he's been shoehorned to the right. And in my opinion, I think many United fans, if we're going to see the best of Mason Greenwood, he's going to have to play as a striker. That's
110%. 100
more pressure on Martial. So yeah, that's it, man.
110%. Bro, thank you for calling the show again, my man. I really appreciate it, brother. Thank you very, very much indeed. We're going to get KJ and Neeks on now with us. KJ, Neeks, welcome to the show. Here we go.
Sorry, man. Listen.
Jadon Sancho.
Listen, Terry, I like the signing of Amad Diallo in it, but the last caller is absolutely spot on in it. If Jadon Sancho's available, you go and get Jadon Sancho. No two ways about it. The fact that Solskjaer's come out and said it could be 3-4 weeks before we see Diallo in the squad, but sooner rather than later, it means that he doesn't know if he's ready. But you think if we sign Sancho tomorrow, which isn't going to happen, but if we did, he'll be in the squad for the FA Cup game without a shadow of a doubt. It just goes to show the level of the two players, at least from the outset, where these two people are at, what they've proved. Now, of course, Diallo could come in and absolutely hit the ground running, but still, if he's available in the summer, you go out and get him. Now, it doesn't mean that you blow your whole transfer budget, because there may be other priorities if Diallo hits the ground running. But for me, he's such a talent, such a player. Forget the talent part. His output and production right now is up there with the best players in the world, regardless of age. So you end up with Diallo, Sancho on the right as options, Martial, Rashford on the left, and Greenwood and Cavani through the middle. Now, Cavani's going to be here, if we extend it, maybe another year after this season. And then you have basically 5 players for 3 positions in 4 competitions. I don't see a problem with that at all.
No, I agree. And just to address this, a lot of people are talking, bad season, blah, blah, blah. He's got 17 goal contributions in 21 games. If that's a bad season, sign him the fuck up.
Definitely.
That's a bad season. Listen, I mean, what we wouldn't give right now to have a right-sided attacker at this club on that many goals right now, with Rashford on his, with Bruno doing, it would just be out of this world. KJ, from your point of view, do you feel Jadon is a must? And if we could get this deal done and announced before the summer, would that go away to healing your wounds with the Wallads?
Yo, let it go, man. We need to let it go. It's done. I am convinced. I'm convinced it's done. The way we treated him in the summer, it was. I don't think Jadon Sancho would look at that and be like, oh yeah, those are the kind of people I want to be associated with.
KJ, tell me, how did we treat him in the summer?
If you're going to tell someone that you're going to buy you all summer, just for you to have a measly attempt at signing you, what does that say? It says, "Oh, I'm not really a priority, then am I?" They could have, if they said to him towards the start of summer when they knew they couldn't afford Jadon Sancho, listen, Jadon, we can't afford you right now. We're going to come back for you in the summer. That's calm, innit? Because you're being truthful, you're being honest, you're being early. But to leave it all the way to the end of the summer, just for it to fall through and get pie on our face, is not good enough. And I don't.
I'm gonna be honest, KJ. I think the only way that comes back to bite us, when I say that in terms of if he feels like we gave him a false promise, if he feels that way, the only way that will bite us is if a club whom he might consider a higher choice priority than us comes in for him. So if Chelsea, who he's a fan of Chelsea, and they come in with a similar offer, etc., they got Champions League football. Hopefully they don't. Lampard stays for the rest of the season, and he thinks, all right, I want to go there instead. Then maybe he might think, well, Man United did this, I'm going to go to Chelsea. But there's no guarantee that there's going to be this plethora of clubs that everyone spoke about last summer going to be in for him again. So I think if we're the only one or one of two, I think we still got a very good chance of signing.
We don't know the guy. Yes, he might just say, it was just what happened in the summer and just let it go. But he could be a man of principle. You could be like, yo, no, you treat me a certain way. But the question is, KJ, the reason why I asked you how do we treat him, because yes, I know we know Ed Woodward and they mess up our transfer window personally for dragging out so long. But did we not sign him because of us? Or did we not sign him because Dortmund set a price that was so unrealistic? But it was so unrealistic that we should have pulled out a long time ago. But maybe, one second, let me finish my sentence. But his resentment may be more towards Dortmund than us. That's my only opinion, maybe. That's why I said he could be that way and he could still want to join us. But I don't know. I'm going to say my 2 pence on it. If I was in his position,
I get that.
But would I love him? Of course I would love him. And if the board ended up getting him in the end and doing it in a proper manner, then yes, that will help me recover some of the PTSD that I've got.
The one thing I would say is this time last year, the rationale for us not getting him is that we were nowhere near the top 4. We were nowhere near winning a league. We weren't guaranteed Champions League football. Now we're a much better team now. We must be seen as a much more attractive proposition as it stands right now than 12 months ago. The improvements in the last 12 months of Manchester United have been absolutely impeccable. And all a Jadon Sancho would do, he would be another Bruno Fernandes for me, because he's an impeccable football player. He's actually technically a much better football player than Bruno Fernandes, but he has the same knack. It's the goals and the creativity. It's just inevitable. And a lot of people will say stats are misleading. Cristiano Ronaldo stats and Messi stats are not misleading. Pele's stats are not misleading. Ryan Giggs' stats, well, they're not misleading. Only the fact that they weren't counted the same back in those days. The top level creators and goal scorers, they're top level goal scorers and creators because they've got brilliant ability, but they also score and produce. That's why they're the elite end players. KDB's stats are not misleading. Do you get where I'm coming from? They're just. And for me, Jadon.
Someone. So carry on.
I would say Jadon Sancho comes into Manchester United and he adds 30 goal contributions a season, extra from what we're getting now. You've got to think from the right-hand side of our attack, whoever started there, it's yielded 10 league goals in 18 months. That's atrocious.
I was having a discussion with someone on Twitter. It was about Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes' contribution to us this season. And I mentioned in terms of them two being involved in 12 winning goals of our 29 games this season. So in 12 games where we score winning goals in the 29 games this season, all competitions. And the argument they gave was, well, they said, yeah, but if, for example, against Liverpool, Marcus Rashford won a penalty, Bruno Fernandes scored it, that would count as a contribution to a winner. And it doesn't mean they had a good game. I said, yes, for one individual game. But if that's the case over the course of the season, then it shows that he had a good season. Each game here, there, wherever may not be good, but if a course of a season shows how much you're impacting the game with goals and assists and chance created, etc., then for me, that's enough, a big body of work to say it's a good season. So Jadon Sancho may not be putting up the same numbers or even impacting the games in the same way he did last season. But if we're halfway through the season and he's still got very good numbers in terms of creativity and goal scoring, he must be a decent player, isn't it? He must.
I think with him with Sancho as well, it's his age still. Man, still only he's 20 years of age, so he's not even turned 21 yet. And I was looking at the statistics yesterday, and I'm trying to find them here. I think here it is. Yeah, he has 90. I think it's 94 goal contributions in 130 games. Now, I totally understand that. Like you look at Bruno as a midfielder and go, well, he's at nearly 100% in his last 3 years. But that's Jadon Sancho. This is what people got to remember. That's Jadon Sancho's first 130 games as a professional footballer. I love Marcus Rashford. I love Anthony Martial as an example at Man United right now. They had nowhere near 94 goal contributions in their first 130 games as a pro. This isn't Sancho with 4 years in the Premier League, and then he's done 2.5 years, 3 years in the Bundesliga. That's him from day dot. He's already on 94 goal contributions. It's astronomical. He's 2 or 3 years away from his peak. I don't think people understand. I do realize this. If Jadon Sancho wasn't English and he was Spanish or he was Brazilian or Argentinian, I think there'd be even more hype about this kid. But he's sensational. And I said it in the summer. If we drop £120 million on him over the lifetime of him at Manchester United, I don't believe we'd look back at it and say that it was.
No, I don't. I don't think so either.
Yeah, can I just answer Cam's point there?
Yes.
I get what you mean when it's just business, but for footballers, it can be not just business though. Why do you think footballers come out and say, I would never go to this club? If it was just business and that club was in for them, they would go there. Why do you think people like Sancho's even come out, not through directly, but through representatives and reports? He's not going back to City.
Yeah.
But surely if it's just business that he would go back to City. So these are the things I'm on about. Like they are little personal things.
What I would say is that if in the summer City were the only one in for him and they put in a bid, he might change his mind. I'll give you an example. Thierry Henry after the cup final, the Champions League final against Barca, he goes, I'll never join that cheating team. And then a year later, he joined that cheating team. Like, so when the money's on the table and the contract's there, sometimes it is just business.
That is true. And again, this is not me saying I don't want Sancho. I would love him. I just don't trust him.
I know you're not saying that.
Listen, I missed the super chat here from the Devil's Advocate who says, I have no faith whatsoever in Ed and co. That Ed and co will be able to strike a deal of this magnitude in 10 days. So you've got to remember, it's negotiating it through January. It's announcing it in February, getting it done, like not having that worry about the deadline now. Like forget January as a transfer window. Just look at it as an opportunity where a lot of conversations go on between clubs. For me, the reason I'd like us to do it in that point is that you start the summer with your main signing done. I mean, it's not great for YouTubers. It's not good for the newspapers to have your main bit of business done. But at the same time,
before the Euros, because if he has a good Euros, then his price is going to go up.
Yeah. So, another comment here that says, Terry, you've got to be careful with stats and being a stat merchant because look at Timo Werner. Well, let me just say this now. Timo Werner's not become a bad player because he's gone to Chelsea. And even if he does flop at Chelsea, I think that if he goes back to Germany, maybe tries a different league, he can kill it. Diego Forlan was a force in every league he played in and internationally, just not the Premier League. Sebastian Veron was a threat and a force in every team he played in, barring any team, barring Man United, barring when he played for Man United and for Chelsea. Sometimes it doesn't work in the country, but where Jadon Sancho is different, he is English. And what I mean by that is he isn't going to come here and have a culture shock. He isn't going to come here and be like, oh, it's raining every day in Manchester. He knows, bruv. He ain't going to come here and be like, oh, you're driving on the wrong side of the street. He'll be able to watch the TV programs and get it. He'll be able to settle into society. Equally, he understands what the British game is about. He grew up playing it. So for me, there's far less risk of finding someone that's come through the academy in the UK, already played here, as an example. There is a question here, but we're going to throw some more callers in to this as well. But the question is here from Ben, Grealish or Sancho, or can we have both? I'm going to take the can we have both part out. If I offered you a choice now, I'll go Neeks first. Between Grealish and Sancho, who are you picking, bro?
Bloody hell. Oh, my goodness. With our current squad, 100% Sancho. 100%, without a shadow of a doubt. If Pogba leaves in the summer, that's a different argument because we're gonna miss that creativity. Oh my God! If Pogba leaves, which we expect him to do, you know what? I might still go Sancho. I think he's young. He's younger. I think we'll still be in balance on that right, even if we get Grealish, because Grealish can play through the middle, yes, but he can also play from the left. So we're just going to have another person in positions we've already got. Van der Beek is not Pogba. Van der Beek will never be Pogba, but we have got Van der Beek. I think a right winger is so important. So I think I'll still go Sancho.
I hear you, Luke. I hear you. What we need Sancho. We need a Sancho. We need a right winger who's experienced on that flank and is good. But in terms of who do you think this club could actually get a deal struck with, I can see us get a deal more with Aston Villa than Dortmund. So
listen, I don't trust them to do anything. It's all a hope and prayer right now. But yeah,
like in terms of if you don't trust them to do anything, what club would you trust to actually get something done in terms of being actually like wanting to? Sorry, my dad's just coughing up. Sorry, wait, 1 second.
I hope he's okay. I'll answer the question. I don't know, bruv. It's like if there's two double beds and Rihanna's on the right and Beyonce's on the left, and someone says you got to choose one. It's hard, bruv. It literally would be, and it's a hard choice. You know what I mean? It's a difficult one. I need that Manscaped straight away, bruv. I'm with you. I look at the big standout element here for me is the right-hand side of our attack is so imbalanced. I get Grealish. I would love Grealish. I would love him at Man United. And you know, when we go back to that Liverpool game the other day, some of the positions that our attackers had the ball in, Grealish is better than all of them at that. You know, that sort of edge of the box. Is he going to go left? Is he going to go right? I don't think there's a better footballer. I don't think there's very many better footballers in the world than Jack Grealish at manoeuvring from that position, retaining possession, and finding the right pass. And that would be amazing. But to apply that balance to Manchester United on the right-hand side, I think would be so important. So I would probably side with Jadon Sancho. If Jack Grealish was right-footed and played on the right-hand side, I would pick him over Sancho.
He is right-footed, but he's
well, you know, what I mean is like he's right-footed and played on the right. It's where he preferred to be. How about yourself then? What would your actual choice be, KJ?
I love Super Jack so much, but the team needs a right winger. And Jadon Sancho is also class, so it would have to be Jadon Sancho. But you know me, well, you know what I'm like. If I'm saying Pogba leaves, get both, bro. I don't care, man. Break the bank.
Trust me.
Get a DM.
Because the money should be there for Sancho. So if Pogba leaves, you use that Pogba money and go get Grealish. It's as simple as.
I'm saying. And people are complaining about Van der Beek and I'll put VD. Oh, listen. VDB is not Grealish and Sancho fan. I'm sorry, like there's levels to it, and I love Van der Beek. But if someone said to me, "Oh, you get Grealish and Sancho, but that means Van der Beek still gets benched next season," yo, hold bench, Donny. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know? Again, this is what I love about the whole bench thing. It's who people are benched for. You know, if it was Ndidi and Grealish that were keeping Donny on the bench, nobody would care, regardless of the results. Remember, in the last 3 days, I've seen more criticism of Man United players than I did when we were 8th, bruv.
It's crazy. It's
madness.
crazy.
This is what I say. I was saying to KJ, this is the thing with the Ollie outers, right? 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 12 months ago, it was, I want to be challenging for titles. I want to be top of the league again. I want to know what it's like to look like one of the best teams in the league. If I had that, I'd be happy. Yo, you got that now. You're happy. No, I'm not happy. Yeah, I love it. I love seeing it. You know what I mean? Can you imagine if Cavani or Martial had the same amount of goals as the other 3 combined in the team? Like, Rashford's getting more stick this season than Cavani, Greenwood, and Martial combined, but he has more goals than all of them combined.
Wait, just to chat for it's talking about Cavani. If we extend his contract and also still get Sancho, is he giving up that 7 shirt? Because I'm saying, you're a fan, you gotta hold it out.
Nah, Cavani has to hold. No, Cavani has to keep it for another year. Like, listen. No. Sorry, if we're extending Cavani's deal, we're saying thank you, done well for us this season. And I think for that, unless we're taking Martial's 9 and giving it to Cavani, which I don't think we need to do because Cavani's only for 1 more year. Remember when Ronaldo, CR7, joined Real Madrid? Now I know Raul's a legend, but he had to just hold a number for a season until Raul left.
That was Raul, bro.
I know.
This is Cavani, bro. Cavani. Imagine Cavani. Instrumental. Imagine Cavani help strike Man United. Do you know what would be fun? No, it wouldn't be funny. I was about to say, what if he just strips Martial out of the number 9 and gives that to
Martial? Listen, if Martial loses 9, he needs to just leave. If he loses it again.
For me, I don't think that's important straight up. But if Cavani's influential in the last 2 months of the season and we win number 21, can't.
I'm sorry, but I can guarantee you one of the clauses, of Jadon Sancho for Man United. I don't know about any other club, but for Man United, it's that 7 shirt is mine, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I understand it, but you know what? We have to be very careful. I know, KJ, I didn't know you at the time, but I guarantee you thought it was out of order taking the 9 shirt off of a young Martial and giving it to Zlatan, right? When Zlatan at the time was one of the best strikers in the world. So I know for a fact that the same people that had energy for that being a negative thing for Martial, you have to apply that to any other player. So we can never talk again. The taking.
The thing is, at first I was like, oh, that's a bit harsh. But then I was like, yo, he's got the number 11, fam. Like, we can run with that. If he got the 26, I would have been.
He couldn't run with it. He weren't happy. We could run with it. He weren't happy. So Martial was not happy with that. So
I don't know, man. Imagine Jadon coming in.
We're going to take more calls now, people. First one we're going to take is CFC RS. CFC, Jadon Sancho to Manchester United. Give me your thoughts. Or not. Hello? Are you there? You might have left his computer. You're going to have to call back, son. We're going to go to Fixer. Fixer, next on the show. What are you saying, brother?
Hello, Terry. How you guys doing?
All good, mate. All good. What do you want to say, bro?
I was just going to say we should walk away from Sancho.
Why?
Well, because... Wait, hold on, Terry. Just 1 second. Oh, snappy Joes.
He actually don't know why. He's trying to find his notes.
No, I'm trying to turn off the... Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, why?
Well, because first of all, we have a lot of wingers already. We have this Pelestri kid. We have Diallo. We still have Rashford and Martial. I mean, we're just going to choke the place up. What we need in Manchester United is a ruthless striker. We need Haaland. We need somebody who can come and one-on-one, merciless. We don't have that.
All right,
we don't have a merciless.
That's a question.
Striker.
No, all right. That's a question. That's a question. If we had a choice, Dortmund said, listen, I'm only selling 1. You can have 1. In this summer, Haaland or Sancho?
I'm taking Haaland in a heartbeat.
You see,
because we already have wingers. Sancho can come in here, but is he gonna do that much more?
Yes.
Than Rashford or Martial?
Yes.
No, but it's the
Rashford
right
or
hand side.
Martial. I mean,
It's the right hand side. It's the right hand side.
even on the right, Rashford can still play on the right. I mean, he's not gonna improve us that much. He'll be good. He's a great player. I'm not gonna knock him down. He's like literally nearing top class, maybe world class level. But what we need in Manchester United at the moment is someone who can look at the keeper in the eye and bury it every time. We need goals. We need to win games. We need to excel. We don't need all this left wing. We have so many left wingers already. We need.
See, the thing is, listen. Obviously, Haaland is on another level to most strikers right now, including
Exactly.
any
That's
we've
what we
got at
need.
Man United. 1 second, but we do have Cavani for at least one more year if we want him, and we've also got Greenwood coming up. For me on the right hand side, Pelestri is an unknown. We've just seen him in the under-23s. Diallo is an unknown as well. Now, listen, over 6 months between now and the end of the season, we might say, damn, you know what? I know I was going to take Sancho, but we take Haaland instead because Diallo was that good. But as it stands, with everything as it is now, Sancho, for me, that right-hand side is still unfulfilled.
Oh, Nate, even if Diallo's that good, though, he's still only 18 with his first period in England. He's going to go through rough patches. He's going to go through times where he can't be the main guy. So having Sancho in is better for the team and for someone like Diallo.
I still agree.
I mean, think about it. Yeah,
agree.
the last time we won trophies, the last time we won the Europa League and the Carling Cup or whatever they call it back then, what did we have? We had a ruthless striker. We had Zlatan, right? And Zlatan contributed like 60%. No matter what anybody says, he contributed like 60% to our victories that season. Okay, the left wingers are good and everything, but even if we don't have a Sancho, we can still manage. What we need is a person that can put goals away, that can score the goals that we need to
my
get
question
victories.
Is, how much do you rate Greenwood becoming the player that we believe he could become?
Greenwood is a superstar, but the problem we have in United is when somebody comes up, like when Rashford came up here, we put him so high on a pedestal. Remember when Martial came, he scored a goal against Liverpool. We were so quick to put them high on a pedestal that they felt comfortable where they are. They haven't improved much from when they came. That's the problem with United. Like, remember that kid in Man City, Iheanacho, when he had his breakthrough season, he scored like 14 goals or something. What happened the next season? They sold him.
Yeah, no.
They didn't put him on that pedestal. They knew that he had a good season. He had a good season. But
do you know what?
The reason why I asked you that though is because if Haaland comes in, you can see you will see less of Mason Greenwood again. Now that's perfectly fine if you don't care about the development.
But it's up to Greenwood. If he is really the real deal, he will fight his way into the team. Look at Luke Shaw. Alex Telles came, and what did he do? He stepped up his game.
Yes, that is true.
Up his game. He didn't cry about it. He stepped up his game, and now they have no choice but to play him over Telles. It's all about the player, man. I'm
not disputing that fact, but what I'm saying is, if you buy a Haaland, he plays 80% of your matches in a season. That is not enough time for anyone to fight through and take his spot. That's what I'm saying.
But there'll be injuries. There'll be cup games. There'll be so many opportunities for Greenwood to still. And Greenwood is a young kid. He's a kid. He still has time.
If I could throw my 10 penneth in here, what I would say is this: I love Haaland. He's an absolute beast and a baller. But I think if Man United fix the right hand imbalance at this football club, you will see a vast improvement across the whole line. At the moment, again, it's one of the hindrances for, let's say Martial or Rashford starting on the left. One of the biggest hindrance for us as a football club is that everyone knows we're going to attack down the left. I was reading the stat yesterday. 57% of our attacks come down that side. It makes us predictable. It makes us easier to mark. It means teams will double up on that side. You throw someone who's potent on that right-hand side, teams have got to spread their play against us. It's going to give more time and space to our central striker and whoever's starting on the left-hand side, whether it's Rashi, whether it's Anthony Martial. I think you will see those maybe extra 10 goals a year that Haaland would get you in comparison to Sancho. I think then get spread across Rashford, Martial, Cavani, Bruno, and
on top of that, Terry, our strikers, whoever's playing the number 9, don't get many chances in the area. Like, we don't see crosses coming in on a regular basis, and that's because our left hand side, whoever's playing there, whether it's Rashford or Martial, inside forwards, So they're cutting in to shoot. They may play a reverse pass, but generally they're coming in to shoot. On the right-hand side, if Greenwood's there, Greenwood comes in on the left-hand side. So even if you get a Haaland, of course, he's going to be more clinical than what we've got at the moment. But is he going to be scoring at the rate of what he's doing at Dortmund? Forget the level of competition. He's just not going to be getting the same number of chances. But if you give Greenwood and Cavani the chances and through the creativity of a Sancho from the right, I think the goal numbers will be, it might not be Haaland level, but it will be good enough.
Also, I've got one more question for you. You're making excellent points, by the way.
No, it does. 100%.
Yeah, excellent points.
Nick, I met you before, you know, right?
Yeah. How much do you like Mino Raiola? Do you think he's an issue and a problem for the football club?
Yes, he is, but it'll be a sacrifice worth making for Haaland. I mean, we already tolerated him for Pogba, so you know. We already tolerated him. We already tolerated him for Zlatan. So you know, what's another guy? What's another extra guy?
Fans is can't stand Mino Raiola. We need to get away from every single client that he has. We should no longer deal with him ever again. But then they want Haaland. That makes no sense.
I don't hate him. I don't hate him. It's not my, it's not my problem. All I care about is for the club to be successful. That's for the board and those guys to deal with.
You know what, Fixer? Great call. Do you know what I love about your call? You come on with a difference of opinion, but you applied respectful logic. I love that, and I don't overtly disagree with you. The choice we've got, so like in this hypothetical little world we've just created here on the terrace, either option's brilliant, and that's the great thing. You know, we're not it's not like we're saying Haaland or Dan James, and man's are picking Dan James. You know what I mean? It's quality. Bro, thanks for coming on the show, mate. Speak to you soon. Take care, brother. Thank you. He called for the first time the show this morning. He's like, brother, I've been watching you since you used to stream in your car. Man's called in twice. I love it. Next up, we're going to get CFCRS back on. CFCRS, Man United, Jadon Sancho. Could it finally happen? And how good is he a player?
You can hear me, right?
Yes, bro.
I think Sancho could be a world-class player, but I don't think United need him. I think United have other priorities that they need to sort out before they can look at Sancho. Like, I think United need another centre-back in and another CDM as well, because I don't think, obviously, McTominay, he's not good enough for United to be the CDM for 38 games a season. And obviously, Matic he's losing his leg. So I think United must prioritize a CDM, obviously, and another centre back. Sancho, I don't think they need him because they have Greenwood who can fill in on the right as well. And 100 million, I don't think it's worth it in my opinion.
That's a fair point, but I'll ask you this: how do you know how many centre backs and midfielders we have?
Yeah, and they need to be cleared out. Get rid of it.
And that's the thing. They need to be cleared out. And you know how many right wings we have? We have two. One of them is a number 10. One of them is a number 10 in One Matter, and the other one is the first player on the left in Dan James. And Mason Greenwood is a striker. We don't have a specialist right winger, and it's been like since Cristiano Ronaldo left in 2008-9. Like, that is a massive issue. I understand what you're saying about our centre back and our CDM situation, but when you have not filled a spot for that long of time, that to me is the most important position that needs to get filled.
Yeah, I understand that, but Sancho is a specialist right winger either. He prefers to be on the left-hand side either way, so you're still going to have that same problem. Rashford tends to prefer the left-hand side. Martial when he plays on the wing, when he's not playing.
I don't agree we have the same problem. I know what you're saying in terms of where he prefers to play, but he is very, very, very good from the right. Whereas Martial and one second. But also Martial and Rashford look very uncomfortable from the right. That's the difference. So he would be a massive upgrade to whatever we've got on the right. Whereas if Rashford goes over there, he goes on the left. I'm like, I think we're still in balance. So I think it's important. Like, a centre back is very important as well. Don't get me wrong. We tried to get one in the summer, that didn't come through. But the difference is, the issue with the centre back, if we're going to be real, is purely injury. Because Bailly can't stay fit.
Is Lindelof good enough?
No, but Bailly is. But the problem is Bailly's fitness.
Someone to partner Bailly though.
We've got someone to partner Bailly. He's our captain.
Oh yeah, the fridge.
Yeah.
So you don't think, wait. So you don't think he's good enough?
Maguire, that's another story for another day. But
No, it's a story for now because you're saying we need a centre back. It's a story for now. So Bailly Maguire partnership, you don't think it's good enough for Man United? Genuine question.
Maguire isn't good enough. But
Okay, Maguire and Bailly partnership. Do you think that's good enough for Manchester United?
Yeah, to an extent, but Barry gets injured way too often. So either way, you're gonna need. I think Upamecano will be a good player for.
Do you know what? Listen, Upamecano is highly talented, right? And I think he's got a high ceiling. Can I ask you a question? What do you think of Marcus Rashford?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going to be world class in a couple.
Okay, and I'm glad you said that because Marcus Rashford put Aubameyang. He put Upamecano on toast and he spread him thin, bro. Do you know what I mean? He managed to he spread him so thin he covered 3 slices of bread with him, right? It was that bad, right? I'm not saying Upamecano isn't going to become world class, but I'm telling you what would happen if Man United signed him, if Chelsea, if any of these clubs sign him because he's so young, he's going to come in and then FIFA ain't kicking in, bro. This ain't FIFA. It ain't about your ability playing with him. What's going to happen is his mistakes and his rawness and his inexperience and his youthfulness is going to show. The mistakes are going to be there. And you're going to see people doing to Upamecano what they do to Rashford now. What we're seeing them at your club, Chelsea, I think you're a Chelsea fan, I believe. What we've seen your Chelsea fans do to Kai Havertz. No time, no opportunity to settle. And that for me is, although I think he's going to be a brilliant centre-back, if we do replace either Bay or Harry Maguire, it needs to be for a 25, 26, 27-year-old who's experienced, who's older, whose frontal lobe has developed to a point. Do you know what I mean? I don't need someone coming in who's 21 and only just passed their driving test, inexperienced and wet behind the ears. I think Upamecano is highly talented, but for me, that would be a step backwards from what we have now over the next couple of years. And Man United fans don't want to wait to be ready. They want it now. So if you want it now, you need to either buy better 25, 26-year-olds out there, and how many are there actually? How many 25-plus-year-olds centre-backs are legitimately better than Bay and Harry Maguire globally, who we can actually sign?
We have, again, this is what I like about this Man United team. We have players that could become these Upamecanos, these Haalands already. We got Axel Tuanzebe and a highly rated Mengi.
Tuanzebe is quality.
It's quality. He's a quality.
Can I ask you a question though? Do you think Sancho is worth 100 million for a guy that prefers to be on the left wing, but he's going to be filled in on the right?
Yes.
Let me reverse this. Would you take Sancho at your club?
I think we have too many attacking midfield players, so no, not right now. No.
So you wouldn't replace any of your wingers for Sancho?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay,
not for 100 million. It's fair enough. I think that's fair enough with what they've got. I mean, I might sell Buddy Pulisic. You can't stay fit, but fair enough.
Listen, bro, thank you for coming on, mate, and having your say. Really do appreciate it. Really good and well articulated points. Thank you, mate. Really do appreciate that. Next up, we're going to have Shane O'Hare on the show. Shane, welcome back to the Football Terrace. And then we're going to a super chat question from Paul Ross. What are you saying, Shane?
How you doing, guys?
Yeah, good, mate. Good.
A few points. I think the only way that what do you call it, Grealish is going to be in here is if Pogba leaves, first off. And secondly, we're not going to get Sancho if Traore works out.
So okay, we're not going to get Sancho if Diallo is good enough. And just, you know what? I think it depends how good Diallo. I mean, if we look at Diallo in the next 2 or 3 months and he's above our expectations and maybe beyond our wildest dreams, then that would make sense because you then wouldn't need someone overtly better. You might say, okay, we'll develop that area. The problem is with Sancho for me is in the top 5 category of the, you've got Mbappe and Haaland that are probably number 1 and 2. I honestly think Sancho's in 3rd or 2nd in terms of most talented players under the age of 21 in the world. And it's just so hard to look beyond him. And do you know what point somebody the previous caller made? He's proficient on the left, and I love Marcus Rashford. But I don't care. If Sancho comes in and can't play on the right because Diallo is quite literally the Ivorian Messi, right? And I'm very I'm over egging it here.
You know what it is?
he's the best. He's actually better than Messi. He comes on, and it turns out Messi's got a picture of Diallo on his bedroom wall, right? It's not bad, right? Do you know what I mean? He changed his son's name. Messi changed his son's name to Diallo, bruv, right? If he's that good, then I want Jadon Sancho here to push Rashford. And I'm a little bit different from KJ. I don't care if a new signing is amazing and it stunts the growth of another player at the football club, as long as Man United progress and move forward. Because for me, the club comes before any single individual player within its setup. So if Rashford ends up becoming a bench player, I don't care. Like,
I understand. I
get where I'm coming from, bro. So,
yeah.
And I have respect.
Can I have one other point here? What do you think? What do you think about the whole Mbappe situation, that he's not signed his new contract? Do you not think that is something we should be looking into?
No.
Listen, yes. Look, I would love, like on paper, yes, I'd love to get Mbappe. I don't know how much he'd want to. I don't know how plausible it is. As an example, I mean, in terms of him running down his contract, it was always going to happen at Paris Saint-Germain, because Mbappe can never be regarded as the best in the world at an adult level once he's beyond the sort of the 2021, like that young player age, until he's doing it either the Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, or probably not even the Bundesliga. It doesn't get enough respect. He has to do it in one of those three leagues for anyone to take him completely. I know we all take him seriously, but for him to go into the same conversation one day as Thierry Henry's, Cristiano Ronaldo's, Zidane's, he has to play in one of those leagues. It's going to happen. Would I love him at Man United? Yes. Do I see it happening? No. If he comes to the Premier League, I do think it will be Liverpool.
You know, it's funny. I never actually considered Mbappe at Man United. It's never crossed my mind once that that's a possibility. Not because he's not a great player. Like I rate him so highly, but it's there's certain players that you can envisage in a Man United shirt.
Yeah,
I've never had that with Mbappe for one reason or another. I've never had it.
But this is one thing I seen. Like, you've got Rashford and Martial fighting out for one position, and both of them look uncomfortable out in the right. Why not use Martial as a bargaining tool?
Martial, I'm sorry, Martial is not going to be a thing where you're like, oh, Martial and let's say 90, 100 million. Yeah, that's maybe
like 60, 70 million, not 90 million. Like, but 60, 70.
I think anyway,
because Martial is not that level. I'm sorry, I love him, but
it's not about being that. I mean, Martial would kill it at Paris Saint-Germain because the level of the league isn't as good. But it would also mean he'd have to want to go and play there. And I think Martial is more ambitious than playing for Paris. I do look at Paris Saint-Germain.
I don't know about that, Terry.
He is French. He is French.
Yeah, I think if Solskjaer wanted to sell him, Martial ain't hanging around. Martial wants to be loved. He wants to be wanted, basically. If Solskjaer says, listen, we're trying to swap you for Mbappe, he'd be pissed, but he ain't hanging around for it.
And PSG,
but again, it's not something I'm really considering personally.
PSG has been sniffing around Martial.
Maybe,
Terrace.
And maybe, listen, do you know what? We are getting into complete pipe dreams here, but you never know. Shane, bro, listen, brother, thank you. I always say this to my staff when I'm reviewing their styles. I'm like, have you got a pipeline or a pipe dream? And if someone said, listen, I've got on the way, I'd say it's a pipe dream, shut it down. Listen, Shane, you're a legend. Thanks for your contributions on the show, mate. Thank you very, very much. Take care, buddy. Top man, thank you. Next, we've got a question here from Paul, who says, Terry, how much would I didn't know. I didn't read it. Well, I'll put it up. How much would woodchucker chuck if a woodchucker could chuck wood, and if a wood could chuck wood, how far would a wood? Yeah, I can't say it all.
All the way to Borussia Dortmund. That's how far. And 100 million.
That's how far, bro. And on the way back, he'd pick up Mbappe. That's what he'd do. Man like Dean here says, okay, let me make this clear. Jadon Sancho is overrated. He can only dribble and do a little cross, and is negative.
And that's why we want Jadon, not Jadon Sancho. But you can keep Jacob wherever he is. Keep him where he is.
Brother, innit? He's brother's core. I don't want him to cover up. Do you know what I mean? It's all good. By the way, we are member chat only right now. You can become a member from as little as 99p. A big shout out, by the way, to our title sponsors, Manscaped. The link is in the description below. Whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. The link's in the description below. If you're watching on Twitter, just go out and just search Manscaped. Amazing male grooming tools, lotions, ointments. They do foot dust, bruv. If you've got stinky up feet, if your feet are nasty, like that, you know them vomit toes, like them ones, yeah? They've got some great dust in there for you to polish your toes up with. Keep the ladies, keep the men, whatever your preference is. Appy as Larry. You get a 20% discount code with the Football Terrace. Get that done. As soon as this stream ends, we're trying something new tonight as well. When this stream ends, you're also going to get sent the link instantly as live viewers for tonight's match reaction show between Chelsea and Leicester. Make sure you go across to that right now because it's available on the Football Terrace homepage, and smash the like button. We're going to do a few more calls. We've got Satan's favorite devil on next. Satan's favorite devil, what you saying, bro?
Yo, hello. You guys hear me?
Yes, we do, Penguin. What do you want to say, mate?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about the Jadon Sancho deal because I really do think that it would be amazing to see him wear that number 7 shirt and come to Manchester United. The only thing that worries me about Jadon Sancho, and what worries me in general about big deal signings, is that when you come into a club, especially at his age, with the price tag over your head, with all the press surrounding you, you look at how every little mistake that Harry Maguire makes in a Manchester United shirt is put under the magnifying glass just because he cost Manchester United 80 million. That's the only thing that worries me. I don't know if he could take it, if he could take that amount of pressure, because Mason Greenwood was also another player to me who I thought was untouchable and the only way was up. And this season, he got put under a lot of pressure by the fan base and by the press and by the media. And it sort of hampered him a little bit. And all he needed to do damage control and keep him away from the spotlight a little bit. So that's like the one thing that worries me. But other than that, sure, I'd love to see.
Listen, I hear you on that. The over scrutiny of certain Manchester United players is mad. But you don't know. It all depends on what the mob think when he arrives. Because if he's part of the mob's faves, he could commit murder in the backing, bruv. Like literally, no matter what he does, they're backing. So hopefully, and I mean this sincerely, I actually do want all of our signings and our players to be loved by the mob. If the mob love you, you get less pressure. The problem is when you're on the outside of that tent, them man are spitting at you like prime llama, bruv. Everywhere, from every direction, you're getting spat at. Like I've said earlier, our top goal scorer, who has outscored all of our other strikers and attackers combined this season, gets more ridicule and criticism for a mistake than the players that are not scoring. I made the point to me and KJ were talking earlier. Now, I don't want Martial getting crap. I want him to be criticized and then put aside. One of our fellow Terrace boys here was on a match review show after we played Paris Saint-Germain when he missed an open goal. Didn't mention it. I'm so panicky. I went back and watched it this afternoon. Didn't mention an open goal miss at all. But he's mentioned on 7 different streams since Sunday Rashford's lack of a pass to Cavani. That's an agenda. And that would be my concern also for Jadon Sancho. If he comes in and says how much he loves and respects Ollie since he was a kid, if he speaks about how much he loves being back in Britain, if it turns out that he's going to live with Harry Maguire for a few weeks because Harry Maguire is his best friend, he's banging trouble, mate. He's banging trouble. Do you get what I'm saying?
You know what I'll say? You know what I'll say? Obviously, the price tag comes with its own pressure. But when you're Man United, when you're a Man United player, that's pressure enough. When you think about all the players that actually get a lot of stick for at Manchester United, and think if their price tags ever mentioned. You get 2 people, Paul Pogba and Harry Maguire, their price tags mentioned. No one mentioned Bruno Fernandes' price tag. The media don't give him no stick, but fans do, whether it's Man United fans or rival fans. Rival fans I don't have a problem with. Marcus Rashford is an academy player, didn't cost us a penny in transfer fee, yet he gets stick. Dan James cost 15 million and he gets stick. Rightly or wrongly, he gets stick. Scott McTominay, academy player, gets stick. So the territory of Manchester United comes with that pressure that, for me, even if we got Jadon Sancho on a free, he's still going to be under pressure to perform, regardless.
I agree. Listen, Mr. Clark here with the super chat says, Terry, KJ, see Neeks is here as well. You get 100 million this window, who you're buying. For me, honestly, I am deliberating. I'm deliberating between Ndidi and Sancho, but I'd probably go Sancho if I'm being honest. I just go.
I would say Ndidi because it's more doable Then
go.
What's Messi's transfer fee?
Oh, if I get Messi for 100 mil, nah. Do you know what? No longevity in that. Like, I put his average anyway. We don't have to do it anymore.
We're forgetting the most valuable 100 million player, Alexander Isak.
Oh God.
Isak. Yeah, Isak. Get Isak in. We have another comment here. It says, imagine if Jamie Carragher was a manager. It would be so funny. I mean, bro, thank you for the it's random, the most random super chat we've had all day. But thank you very, very much. It means a great deal to us here at the Footy Terrace. And one more final super chat here. It says, Jadon or Grealish, who would the panel prefer? But no, Pogba most probably would be leaving. Do you think with our history of transfers, I just fear because we are on a rise, it could F it up this time. Look, if you actually look at the Man United's 10 most expensive transfers, some of the names on there make you weep with how they didn't work. But I also think that was to do with managerial choice. I also think it was to do with some of those players not wanting to actually be at Manchester United and as their preference first choice. We did it with Lukaku. We did it with, Angel Di Maria. Lots of these players that came in didn't really want to be Manchester United players, and we lumped big money on them. So you're on a hiding to nothing when you do that, really. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, a massive thank you. All of our panelists, all of our guests, of course, co-hosts tonight, man like KJ and Neeks. We're back live as soon as Leicester versus Chelsea ends, and what a big game it is. Big rumours last night that Lampard is a dead man walking. He could be losing his job. So stay tuned on the Football Terrace for that one this evening. I want to see as well. I've actually got the stream up here to see whether you get directed to that stream right now. So I want to see if it works. But until then, everybody, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God